guys, welcome back to Romance Review TV with Lady T, and I got another recap for you guys. Ready to Love Miami season episode 2, First Kiss. And look like we got some couples starting to emerge as the men are on the chopping block this week, and it looked like we got our season's villain as well. But before we unpack this, take a second to make sure you're subscribed to the channel to receive all updates. And please don't forget to like and share. So without any other further ado, let's jump into this recap. So I know you probably seen that thumbnail, so we're going to unpack that first. Look like somebody got a problem. So Shareese and Dominica feel some kind of way about being in the bottom two, while both of them took offense and tried to find out why. Now, only Shareese stood a chance of not getting eliminated because Dominica at this point got the homegirl vibe. And with that, of course, she was eliminated. Now, however, Shareese may not be that far behind considering that her ways haven't necessarily improved. And for one, she makes this comment towards Randall, which is taken an offense to, and becomes the topic of conversation on multiple occasions since it was seen as offensive. Also, she was rude to both Kayla and Shakira when the ladies are talking during the whole male deliberation over who was being eliminated. And what really pushes the possibility of her being the next one that's out is the only guy who has talked to her or talked her up is Devin. Now, when he comes to her party empty-handed, it didn't impress her. A lot of people wasn't impressed. And this definitely came under consideration when it was time for the women to choose who was the next person that was going to be eliminated. So we look like we got some potential love interest starting to form. So there was also solo dates in this episode and smaller group mixers that they had. So this is how we were able to see some possible potential couples. Now, for some people like Mike and Brandy, everyone can see that they're paired up, and it isn't clear if that will be respected enough to not get someone eliminated. Brandy openly claims Mike, but Mike, he is still expecting to play the field. So let's switch over to Samson and Shakira. Now, we get to learn that he is the one who makes her melt, per what we saw in this whole season trailer. And you can understand why, because he fully understands dating someone with a child means that you can't solely have an interest in the mother and omit the child's role as part of the package. And then when you add in his charm, simple, but that little caring gift he gave her and giving her good conversation, it seems that while both may deal with the journey and the process as Ready to Love coerces them to, they may have already found their match. But they're not the only one, because Jamala, who has this one-on-one with Swayze, realized that there is more to him than his youth and energy. He's a reformed serial monogamist who wants something serious and has often rushed through relationships, perhaps to his detriment. And with seeing that, Jamala becomes a big fan of Swayze in this episode. Now leads us to Kayla. Now, she came up with this whole bowling date for a group of people that leads to Alonzo and Swayze bowling for a prize, which is a kiss, more like a peck. Alonzo wins, leading her being the first person to kiss another cast member this season. But even with that peck, watching Swayze lose and do push-ups made it clear to Kayla that, she's still in the game and is non-committed. So now let's talk about nervousness and sweat. And they got the right to be nervous at this point. So I know you guys remember Calvin self-eliminating in the last episode, which gave the ladies a breather. It did nothing for the men. So Mike and Devin end up in the bottom two for very different reasons. Mike ended up in the bottom two since a notable number of the women want kids, and with Mike having 3 already, with the youngest being 10 years old, there was this question up in the air on whether or not he want more. And then when it came to Devin, with his main person in the show being Shareese losing interest, he lost his protection pretty much. Hence, he was the one that got eliminated for being too awkward and just not taking the initiative expected when on a show like this, Ready to Love. So we did see, of course, the two people that got eliminated today. Who you think could be eliminated next? Could it be with the man Justice, since his charm has pretty much given way with him talking about only seriously dating one woman, which for him means spending money and doing what the ladies expect. It rubs some of them the wrong way. And for the women, it's maybe Katie, and mainly due to her, just not getting a lot of screen time and not being on any dates. But I will say probably one of the strongest couples that's forming right now is Samson and Shakira. And then, of course, every one of these types of shows, every season of these types of shows, there's usually somebody casted as the villain. And it looks like they're might having Shareese as being the villain this season. I mean, there's always somebody that got to stir the pot. But it looked like Shareese is going to be that person. She is outspoken. That doesn't mean she's a bad person. Absolutely not. However, she doesn't have the perception to understand she doesn't just have to appeal to the men. Case in point, Shareese joking about Randall at the mixer, or whether or not he's a king, was taken the wrong way. And because Shareese passed comments about Dominica, no one is willing to kind of give her the grace or the benefit of the doubt. She got backed into a corner in her own home with multiple people trying to come for her, thus her having to backtrack and apologize after trying to sweep what she said about Randall under the rug. All of which make it seems, producers are doing what's necessary to build up to that scene when one of the men actually call her out, like during an elimination. So even though there's somewhat of a push to see Shareese as the villain, when it comes to people dating, however, no one comes off like they aren't trying to seriously date someone yet. Now, are some enjoying the attention, like Kayla, when Alonzo and Swayze were bowling for a prize? Yeah. But as she and the other women noted, like Shakira, having to compete for men is not their thing, and it being the other way around makes them feel more comfortable and able to enjoy the whole process of the dating experience. However, when it comes to whether any of these folks could be dogging out each other, men or women, maybe having some tea spilled at the reunion, right now, there isn't anyone who raises like a red or a yellow flag at this point. Now, the jury's still out on Justice because he can come off a little non-committal. But, with some souring when it comes to him, he may not get the chance to, prove that as being true. So let me know what you guys think. So there you have it, the recap for episode number 2. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that Shakira and Samson is, forming a really good coupling? I actually like them myself on screen so far. What do you think about Shareese being the villain? Do you think that's where they're going with her particular casting? And what do you think so far as we get into this new season? Are you really enjoying it, especially coming off of the last few seasons, since the last resort at least? But let me know your thoughts. Let's get the conversation started down in the comment section. And until the next video, take a second to make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Make sure you get all updates, and don't forget to like and share. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.